Now the session will be made interactive and you are free to express your views and raise questions. Please do not hesitate to ask even if your questions are very basic. In case of time limitations, please feel free to express yourself on the site or email your queries. We shall be pleased to offer our suggestions and clarifications. So once again, thanking all of you for your patience, and now we enter into the interactive session. Thank you.
I thank Dr. Bhanot for that quick overview of the 6 modules, and I have some questions that we had received before this webinar, and I would like to quickly run through those, and please write in any questions you have right now in the chat menu on the right. You must be seeing, so you can type the questions there and we'll be able to see them, and also we'll be opening up the session so we can all talk to each other in a couple of minutes. So the first question I have here is from Mr. Vinod. He's asking that what are the minimum performance requirements that we should look at when buying a water system for HPLC. So if I'm right, he wants to know what quality of water should be used on the HPLC.
The water should be deionized, first of all, for which you have a system. We have dedicated systems available in the market. It should be free from organic impurities. So it has to have the right type of filters. Then ion exchangers are there and it is exposed to UV light. And then finally its conductivity should also be controlled. That means the water should have a minimum conductivity of 18 mega ohms.
Okay, so I think that's 18.2 mega ohms resistivity.
18.2,
yeah,
yes.
resistivity. So that's what. All right. Another question we have from Dinesh, that during sample preparations we many times sonicate the samples. So why is that sonication step a part of the sample preparation?
Sonication basically helps to dissolve the sample. It makes it totally soluble. And secondly, the other reason, if sometimes we also sonicate the mobile phase. So sonication of mobile phase removes dissolved air. So these are the dual purposes of sonication.
Okay. Third question is from Praveen. He is asking that can we filter samples through 42 number paper filters for analysis by HPLC?
Yes, it is 0.45 if I remember correctly, 0.45 micron.
I think he's talking about Wattman paper filters, and
yes.
I don't think that would be suitable because you have to have much finer filters, and these paper filters will let microscopic particles through and clog the columns. So that would not be good. Yes. So you must stick to membrane filters for this kind of weighing and sample preparations. All right. We have another question which has come in the chat. I think it's Abhishek. He's asking us that after shifting the analytical balance to a new place, should it be calibrated before weighing?
Yes, of course. First of all, you have to check the level of the balance with the help of the spirit level that is provided on the balance. And then after you have made that adjustments, then you should calibrate it again before you start taking weights.
Great. Another question related to weighing, which has come in the chat, is that is it better to weigh samples on a butter paper or a weighing bottle, or to weigh it directly into the vessel where dilutions have to be made?
See, as per the standard practices, you should be weighing the sample directly in the weighing vessel. And butter paper and other means of weighing, they should be avoided if possible.
All right. And this is another question which is come in the chat, and they're asking that if a standard is not available for a compound that we are analyzing, what should we do? Okay, that's a difficult question.
Difficult question, really.
Yeah.
You have to have a standard.
Yeah. But if you look at the pharmaceutical industry where, they're working on impurities or unknown compounds, if you want to quantify, you still need to isolate it. So if you don't have a standard, I think you would have to isolate it yourself, characterize the, purified compound, do an NMR, do a mass spec to ensure the identity, and also do a purity based on a PDA scan. And then you can use that material as a standard with the proper documentation in place. But without all of this activity, you can't randomly just pick up any chemical and claim it to be a standard. So I don't see any more questions coming in the chat. Any more questions from our participants? Or we'll open the session so we can all say hello to each other and have an informal communication. So I'll be unmuting all the attendees now. And you're welcome to share. So hi everybody, let's see if we can hear you back. Hello. Abhishek, are you there? And we also have Shazia online. Shazia?
Yeah, I just want to know what is the correct practice to weigh very viscous material like yogurt?
Okay, great. When we are handling very viscous materials, what we do usually in our lab is that we take a syringe and you weigh that syringe beforehand, and then you fill it up with the material, open the plunger from the top, and
Okay.
you add the material, and then you weigh it again, take an initial weight, and take the amount of sample you need through the syringe, and then you weigh the syringe again. So you'll be able to transfer it quite accurately.
Okay, if I need to take in ml, like my procedure says that it's 15 ml or something like that.
All right, you can do that
So
also.
do we
But then
need to convert it into weight, or it's a?
I would say it's always better to weigh viscous materials. But if you need to do it in ml, you can do that. But you would need to rinse and wash whatever you are using. Like if you use a measuring cylinder or a pipette to.
Yeah, because I was trying to use the measuring cylinder, and it was not possible to, because transferring it from the measuring cylinder,
yes, you'll have
quite
to
difficult.
you'll have to wash it again and again. Actually, with the syringe you can take in volume also, but usually the syringes which
and
are.
what about the bottle, sample bottle which we are using for the sample for gas chromatography? Can we weigh the sample directly into that?
Yes, in fact, you should try and do that. If you can inject the sample directly or using headspace for sample or whatever,
Okay.
so you should weigh it directly there, so you won't have any losses or mistakes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So Abhishek is just telling us that he doesn't have a microphone. So anything you want to ask, you can write in the chat.
नहीं कुछ नहीं. No.
All right. Any of our other attendees have any questions? Vinod, Dinesh, Praveen. All right. So back to you, Dr. Deepak. And I think
Yes, sir.
That was a quick question session. And I thank everybody who's attending. Thank you very much. And we'll see you again for the third webinar. I think again in about 3 weeks time. So please be ready with more questions, and we look forward to talking to you again. We're actually done for today's webinar. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, everybody.